Now you already know, oh yeah, it is a struggle. Yeah. So let's see. Now currently we are in 1 and now next count means it is going to the second one. That we don't know how many number of iterations the loop is going to perform. When we don't know the number of iterations, we can use this while do and while loop. Count equals 0, which means as long as the condition is false, the loop will run. At the point the condition becomes true, the loop will end. Hello everyone, welcome to Computing with Shanika teacher. As usual, today also I have come with solutions to a major struggles that you are facing when facing your O levels AS or A2. Okay, so here today we are going to learn about loops. Now you already know, oh yeah, it is a struggle. Yeah, so let's see. So where do you find loops? In pseudocodes, right? When writing pseudocodes, these loops are very important. Okay, loops, or else we call iteration or repetition. Okay, so tell me, what is a loop? What is looping or iterating? What is it? It means doing the same thing again and again until some kind of condition fulfills, or something until it comes to some kind of an end. Okay, this is what we call a loop. In your syllabus, when learning pseudocodes, you have to learn about 3 major loops. Those are, first one, for, to, next loop. Second one, while, do, and while loop. And third one, repeat until loop. Now, if you have already learned these things, you might know why you have 3 different types of loops. If you have not learned yet, you need to know why we have 3 types of loops. What is the purpose of having 3 types of loops? Okay, let's see one by one. First one, let's take for to next loop. For to next. What is this for to next loop? Here, in this loop, we actually use this loop for a... okay, now let's learn about this first type of loops, for to next loop. Okay, so this loop we are using when we know the number of iterations. Means when we know how many times the loop should run, then we can use this for to next loop. Okay, and once the first iteration is done, it will automatically increase its counter and it will go to the second iteration. Once that one is over, it will go to the third iteration. Like that, this will loop through the program. Okay, so I will take an example. For count equals 1 to 10. Input number, total equals total plus number, next count, output total. Okay, I will quickly explain this this simple program. So what it means is we have to run the loop until from count equals 1 to 10. Starting from 1 until 10 means 10 times the loop should run, and while running the loop you have to perform these instructions or the code lines. Okay, so what happens is, first we come to the count equal 1. Count equal 1 time. Okay. So here we comes, when count equals 1, this goes inside the loop and input the number, the given number, and add that to the total. Okay. And next count means go to the next count, which is count 2. Now currently we are in 1, and now next count means it is going to the second one. So second one also it will come here, count equals 2 now. Now it's count equals 2. So it will go inside the loop and it will perform these instructions, and then it will go to the next count. So likewise this will run 10 times, and at the end it will output the total. Okay, so this one we can use when we know how many number of iterations should occur. Okay, when we don't know the number of iterations, we are not able to use this for loop. Understood? This is the basic idea of a for loop. When you know the number of iterations, you can use this for loop. Okay, now let's discuss about the second type of loops. Okay, that is while, do, and while loop. Okay, so the earlier one you can remember, it was used when we know the number of iterations that which are going to occur. But in this case, when using this while loop, we are using this one for the cases that we don't know how many number of iterations the loop is going to perform. When we don't know the number of iterations, we can use this while, do, and while loop. Okay, I will take an example. While count not equal to 0, do. Okay, so this means while count not equal to 0, do these things. Okay, it means as long as count is not equal to 0, which means the program will go inside this loop when this condition is true, and as long as this condition is true, the program will go inside this loop. At the moment it becomes false, then this loop will be ended. Okay, let's see. Input number, total equals total plus number, and count equals count plus 1. And after performing these instructions, we can end the loop. End while, and we can output our total. So what is the meaning? Here it says while count not equal to 0, do, means As long as count is not equal to 0, go inside the loop and perform these things. So it says it is asked us to input the number, and after inputting that input value is added to the running total, and then the count's value has increased. Count equals count plus 1. So if the count's value was 1, now it is 2. If the count's value was 2, now it is 3, like that. The count's value will be increased by 1, by whatever the number we are giving here. Okay, and then once all the iterations are done, okay, now let's go to the next counters. Now first one is over, and let's go again here. Now let's say count equals 0. Now the count's value which is coming here is equal to 0, means this condition becomes false. Got it? This condition becomes false. At that point, this the loop will be ended, and we are coming out of the loop, and we are outputting the total. This is what while, do and while loop means. When we don't know how many times the loop should run, so see here, we don't know how many times will it run. As long as count is not equal to 0, it will run. At the point count equals to 0, which means the condition becomes false, it will the loop will be ended. Understood? Okay, now let's discuss the third type of loops, repeat until loop. What happens in repeat until loop? Just like in while loop, in repeat until also we are using this loop when we don't know the number of iterations which the loop should be performed. Okay, here also we don't know the number of iterations, means it also depends on a certain condition. Okay, I will take an example. There are two major differences from between this while loop and repeat until loop. Okay, I will explain it using an example. Repeat input number total equals total plus number, count equals count minus 1, and I can say until count equals 0. Okay, so here I will take this one. I will take the count as a user input. Input count. So the value of the count a user can input. Okay, so we don't know what will be the input of the user. What will the user input as the count value? So whatever it is, we have to run the loop until count equals 0, which means as long as the condition is false, the loop will run. At the point the condition becomes true, the loop will end. That is the difference between the while loop and the repeat until loop. Okay, so here what happens? As long as as a certain condition is false, the loop will run. Okay, so repeat input number total equal total plus number, count equal count minus 1. Okay, until count equals 0. Until count equals 0, we have to run. Means now let's say the count's value is 10 at the beginning. It comes here. Now count is not equal to 0. Count is not equal to 0, which means this condition is false. So in that case, again the loop is running. So which means as long as the condition is false, the loop will run. At the very point the condition becomes true, the loop is ended. At the point count becomes 0, the loop is ended and the program goes out of the loop. Okay, and there is one more difference, one more important thing here. Can you see the upper part of the loop? It is run at least once before checking this condition. Before checking the condition, the loop is run. Loop is run at least once in repeat until loop. In both of the earlier loops, here the condition was checked at the beginning of the loop. Okay, before entering into the loop. While also the condition was checked at the beginning. But here the condition is checked at the end of the loop. The condition is checked at the end of the loop. In that case, this loop is run at least once. So inputting the number, totaling it and deducting the counter, that happens for at least once. That is the difference between, the major difference between while and repeat until loop. The loop is run at least once. So you have to understand the difference between for to next loop, while do and while loop and repeat until loop. And there are certain questions that only one of these loops should be used. Okay, so you have to learn these the difference between these three loops by doing questions or else exercises. So that is up to you to understand the difference between these three loops by doing the exercises again and again related to all three types of loops. Understood? Okay.